Hi guys, it's me, Tom, and you probably don't remember me because it's been well over a year since I made a video. That's way too long. I'm so sorry. I should have come on here a lot earlier and done this, but for whatever reason, it's taken me till now to actually get inspired to make a video. So that inspiration has come along at 4 a.m. The birds are currently singing, and there are people sleeping in this house who I'll probably wake up, or they'll come down to get ready for work because it's that late. So sorry to everyone who I did not respond to who sent me messages on YouTube. I have not been on YouTube at all, even to watch videos or anything, so I haven't picked up messages until months after they were sent. So I'm really, really sorry that I never got back to anyone. Some of you seemed really concerned that I might be dead or something, so I'm sorry, and I did feel a lot of love coming from you guys, so thank you for all those lovely messages. Um, if you ever want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is probably Twitter, because I'm always on Twitter. I can't see myself ever not being on Twitter, at least not in the coming years. So send me a message on Twitter, interact with me, send me hate mail, whatever. Just do it on Twitter. The links are down below. That and Tumblr. Follow me on Tumblr as well. I do that now. So apologies for the horrific rambling nature of this video or whatever the hell happens. I'm just going to chat things from my mouth. I'm not even going to edit this. It's very late. I'm kind of crazy at this time in the morning. So, anywho, let's get on with it. The film I'm going to review today is directed by Abbas Kiarostami. It's called Like Someone in Love. I really, really respect Abbas Kiarostami. I haven't seen enough of his films. I need to go back and watch a lot of them. But he is the director who got me into Iranian film in the first place, and I've gone on and explored through some of that. It's a fascinating, fascinating country in terms of its film production. Really interesting, weird films that are kind of playing with the genre quite a lot, and they can be quite meta and interesting. So they're really interesting to look out for. Kiarostami has actually been exiled from Iran. He can't make films there anymore, so he's been making them in Europe and Asia and these places. This particular film is set in Japan, and it's about a student who also works as an escort in the evenings, and one night has to go to an elderly client. He and the girl kind of strike up this interesting relationship. It's not really sexual. They just kind of chat for a while. They go to sleep. They wake up in the morning. He takes her to university, and it kind of all spans over the course of approximately 24 hours. It's very, very, very slow paced. So if you're not into slow paced films, if you need kind of the pace to be up, you need the energy, otherwise you'll get distracted. This is not the film for you. It's definitely something you need to just kind of sit with for a while and allow it to kind of wash over you a little bit. I wasn't sure how I felt about it when I was watching it. I was enchanted by it and I was drawn in. I can see how people would get very bored. I was with a few friends. A couple of them I don't really think responded very well to it. But yeah, it was very, very interesting. And since I've come out of the film, I've grown. It's kind of grown for me, and I've come to respect it even more. And I kind of want to go back and see it again and see how it changes the second time. But it's essentially a film about isolation. That's what I read about it, and how it's difficult to form any real connections with people. Many of the characters seem very isolated. They don't say very many words. They're very isolated in the frame, using things like cars that are in the way or pieces of furniture or whatever. The frame itself is usually centered around one person. People are isolated within that frame. Often it's very difficult to understand where any of the sources of sound are coming from. You're not really sure which characters you're supposed to be following. For 1 minute you'll think that you're following this character, and then it'll kind of switch to a different character and you'll be following them. And it can be kind of a little bit disconcerting. Everyone seems a little bit fractured, and there's no communication or connections with anyone. This is partly to do with the way that people choose to communicate. A lot of them are kind of putting on these kind of personas, and they are creating them for themselves around themselves, and they do it by giving themselves different names or telling people that they're different roles than they actually are. Um, just kind of communicating in different ways, withholding lots of information and their emotions, and it's difficult to pin down what their real true persona is, or if they really do have one unique true persona. Is it possible for one person to have different characteristics at the same time? Um, the film is beautifully shot. It's absolutely stunning. It's wonderful to look at. Tokyo is shot beautifully. It's not kind of like a touristy type film, like say Lost in Translation, which is a film I love, but it does sometimes feel like it's sponsored by, the Tokyo Tourist Board or whatever. This one is much more centered on these people. It's not really about the environment, as much as a lot of other Abbas Kiarostami films are obsessed with environment, and this one isn't really. Although my Japanese friend that I saw this with, he told me afterwards that a couple of the things that the people were doing felt very, very authentically Japanese, like the neighbor character, and from I've been to Tokyo myself, and it did feel very authentic. It felt very real. So he's got that down, even though he's not from Tokyo, and presumably doesn't really speak the language. I'm not sure. Kiarostami has managed to capture Tokyo very, very well. It's also performed very well. The actors are really, really great. Very, very restrained and held back. Very slow film. It's often you feel like it's not really getting going, and one critique you could have is that the ending doesn't feel very actualized. It kind of ends very suddenly when it starts to get very interesting. But I really liked the ending. I thought it was a perfect moment to end it on. It kind of just this kind of explosion out of a film which feels very sedate. And it kind of lets you just kind of mull it over and kind of think about it, and it worked perfectly for me. I can't see how else it would have ended. So yeah, that's it. You should definitely check this out. It's a really interesting film. If you're not into those slow-paced films, then avoid it like the plague. But yeah, check this out, and definitely also watch Certified Copy, which is the film he made before this, which I think is a lot better than this one actually, and explores some of the same themes even better. It's one of my favourite films I've ever seen actually. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. Certified Copy. Definitely go and check that one out. Also got a great performance by Juliette Binoche, like stunning. So watch that. This has been a very long video and very rambly, and I should have cut this down in editing, but I don't care. So, bye.